You don't want to run in front of a bus.
No, God forbid.
You know, and end your life. You know, you got to be careful. You know that you got to fear life a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
All the time, you know, but don't let it ruin your happiness.
Mm.
You know, I personally like looking forward to really getting old and dying in a funny way.
Well, it's a blessing to say you got old, to get old, mate.
Well, yeah, you know, you
not everyone gets a chance to get old,
It's
mate,
about a chance in life, do you know what I mean, to live,
you know?
yeah? And I know you've got to accept it's going to come to an end.
Mm.
And I don't know when that, it might be tomorrow, you know, or now. You know, I might have a heart attack right now.
God forbid,
you know, but, you know, nobody knows when they're, you know, when their last minute's going to be up, do they, you know? And I just think, like, just get up and enjoy it. And don't moan about it, you know?
No.
You know, I mean, I used to moan about things, you know, but I decided, no,
yeah.
You've got to be strict with yourself a bit, you know, and understand that life is tough.
Yeah.
Life is sad. Life is this, whatever, you know, but just keep going.
It's all meant to test you and to teach you a lesson. A lot of stuff, you know. A lot of stuff is to help teach you a lesson, you know. That's some kind of lesson you're supposed to learn about life.
It is, isn't it? It is quite strange that we've all got to learn this lesson, you know, in life. You know, life is a lesson itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are here to learn, you know, mate. I think
it's funny.
I think that's the purpose. I think the large purpose of it is to learn, you know.
Yeah, learn not to do things, bad things, you know. You know, I mean, it's like, as you get older, and as, you know, you learn the things, like food, for instance, say, let's talk about food. You learn what foods you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
And it takes time to learn these things. You know, you don't know when you're younger. You know, so life does get better. You know, you just got to learn about yourself a bit more, I think, you know. I mean, even so, I still got a little bit more learning to do with myself, I think, you know.
Yeah.
You know, as I get a bit more older and experience more things in life, you know. I mean, I feel like in my life, in the last 50 years, I've experienced so many different things, you know. Funny enough, you know, I've gone to so many different places, you know. I used to work on the ships, you know, for P&O, and that was a little bit of experience, do you know what I mean? But I only worked for them for 3 years, you know, and if I worked for them 10 years, it would have been a bigger experience.
Of course, you know? Yeah.
You know, but then when I left there, I've had other experiences, you know. I went to Canary Wharf, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and then I've been married once, and then I just had an interest in life.
Yeah.
Interesting, you know. Hated school, but enjoyed my childhood, you know. Well, I think that's one thing people should study, actually, happiness in life, you know.
Yeah.
And I did do a lot of thinking about it, you know, like, you know, what is the purpose of life of all this, you know? It's horrible. Life can be really horrible when you think about it, you know. And it, you know, it's quite daunting and sad to think about it, but I think you just gotta be positive, you know, and be powerful.
Yeah.
Be powerful, you know, and live every day rather than dreading it or not enjoying it, you know. Yeah. So that's the most important thing in the world, I think, just learning how to enjoy the moment and learning how to love yourself, and
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that's what's in, I think, number one.
Yeah.
And then you're not in pain at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-acceptance, you know, so important, you know. Once you accept who you are and you're honest with yourself about who you are, then, you know, you can improve, you can change, you know, who you are as a person, you know, whatever, you know. And I think a big part of life as well is, when it comes down to happiness, like we're talking about tonight, I think it's, you know, you have to find out what drives you in life, you know, what you're passionate about, you know, what makes you happy, you know, you've got to find what makes you happy, you know, what do you enjoy doing, you know, what do you enjoy spending your time doing, you know, what makes you the happiest, you know, is it when you're playing sports, is it when you're learning something, is it when you're doing some art, is it, you know, what is it, you know, and I think the more you do what you're passionate about, the more that, you know, the happier you become, you know, because you feel like you're following your purpose, you know, and I think your purpose is kind of found within your passion. You know, yeah, definitely, you know, I think your purpose is definitely found within your passion to a degree, you know. Yeah, if you find out what you're passionate about and what drives you and what you like to do and enjoy, on a day-to-day basis, or whenever you get the chance to, outside of your responsibilities, then you know what makes you happy, you know, and you just got to strive to do those things, or, you know, as much as possible, and you know, take the time, you know, to do those things, you know, because we're all human beings, and it all comes back down to balance too at the end of the day, you know, because, you know, you got to, as much as, you know, we all try to make everyone else happy as well, especially when you've got, you know, like myself, I've got a wife and kids, and my responsibilities is to, you know, to look after them and keep them happy and protected and looked after, and, you know, etc., you know, etc., etc. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're still got to make yourself happy too at the end of the day, you know, because you've got to, in order to make everyone else happy, you've got to be happy within yourself. You know, it's, you know, you can only, you know, if you keep pushing yourself to the bottom of the list or the bottom of the pile all the time, and compromising your own happiness all the time because you're constantly trying to make other people happy, it's not going to work, because, you know, people, you know, you just become frustrated and burnt out, and kind of like, you know, just it becomes too much, you feel overwhelmed, you know, in the situation, you know. So yeah, everything's just balance, you know. If you want to, you know, keep yourself happy, then if you're happy, you can usually make everyone else happy as well, you know, people around you. You know, usually if you're happy to, that happiness and that positive energy is usually quite contagious, you know. People can pick up on it whenever they're in your presence, you know, whenever they speak to you or have a conversation with you, or you're in the same environment, same setting or whatever, they can feel your energy, you know, they can, you know, and they'll know it's genuine as well, you know. You can tell when someone's just genuinely, you know, living within their truth kind of thing, living free and in their purpose, so to speak, you know, not afraid to just be themselves, and, you know, and who, you know, who likes it, and who doesn't like it, and it's as simple as that. Like, you know, I think that's the ultimate freedom, just living within your truth, you know, and just not being afraid to be you, you know, as long as you're not hurting anyone or doing anything but negative to anyone in any way, shape or form, then you should just be able to be free and just live your life and do what you want, enjoy doing what you want to do, you know, whatever floats your boat, you know. We're all different, we're all unique, and we all have different things, different hobbies, different passions, different likes and loves, and etc., you know, things we want to, you know, do in life, you know. So yeah, you know, you've got to, yeah, try to maintain your happiness, you know, because that's paramount, you know. Everyone has to look after themselves first, and then once you do that, then you can focus on everyone else around you, you know, and how you can try to improve their lives as well, you know. So yeah.
Like I said, you know, one thing I want my mum to be happy.
Yeah.
I want my brother to be happy. I want you to be happy.
Mm.
Yeah, that's me, alright. I want everyone to be happy around me. You know, if they're not happy, you know, like I go around my mum, she's not happy about something.
Yeah.
It makes me feel unhappy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that, doesn't it? It kind of works like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think it's important, really, sort of to make yourself learn to love yourself, learn to love your imagination, everything about yourself, and everyone else will start, you know, start enjoying yourself in life, and everyone else will start liking who you are, I think. Is that not true?
Mm.
You know, because they're quite happy that you're happy,
Yeah.
and you're not a concern to them.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they're free of you in a way when you're happy.
Yeah.
It's like if you've got a little baby, for instance, alright, and it's happy. You know, it's happy they're playing for hours.
Mm.
You know, and that makes you happy, doesn't it?
Mm.
You know, but if the baby's crying or sort of it's unhappy, it's uncomfortable for some reason, whatever, or it's in pain, that makes you feel a bit unhappy, doesn't it? You
Yeah.
know?
What? You know, on edge.
Yeah, you know, you got to sort it out.
Yeah.
You know, and
You want to make sure they're okay.
it kind of,
yeah.
you know, like when the baby's laughing though, and it makes you laugh.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way it kind of works, the real world in a funny way. You know, like we do kind of like, you know, like if I went out and smiled, some people will smile back.
Yeah.
You know, and all that sort of stuff. You know, but if you're
Yeah.
not smiling, they're not going to smile back at all.
Mm.
You know, people want you to be happy.
Yeah.
They want to see happiness, you know, like I've said before, what I love seeing is like all people in the park, say, all couple holding hands and they're happy together, having a laugh.
Yeah.
You know, but I wouldn't like seeing all couple arguing in the park.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It would annoy me.
Usually when they get, especially older couples, mate, once they pass a certain age, usually they pass that whole arguing shit. Usually they're just, you know,
yeah, that's
they,
true.
they kind of got.
That's true.
Usually a lot. You hardly ever see like older couples really like arguing and stuff. They're usually very like submissive, submissive to each other. They both like go along with each other. Oh yes dear, you know. You know, the husband says something, the wife goes, oh yes dear, okay. You know, wife says something, the husband goes, oh yes dear, okay. You know, if you see what I mean, like they're just, you know.
Yeah. I think it is learning, you know, actually.
And that takes a lot. That takes time and understanding and patience. Like everything else in life, to master, it takes time to, you know.
You know, I think as you get older, you do learn how to improve as a person. Or you should do.
Yeah.
Some people don't, all right, because I don't know, they're not learning in life, I suppose. You know, they're not learning anything new, or
not growing in any way.
Or I don't know. It's just some people stay the same in a funny way, you know. Where, you know, like me personally, I sort of learned a couple of things today in life, you know, whatever. And tomorrow I want to learn a few more things, you know, if I can.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, to be honest with you, I want to learn as much as I can before I die. So I can, God would give me a certificate of some sort, you know, like a reward.
You've been to the Earth's University, you know, the Earth's University, you know. Yeah. You have passed with flying colours. Yeah. You are hereby admitted to the upper room. Yeah. See Michael Jackson moonwalking across the stage, you know.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to dying, you know, and see all these people in heaven like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to learn all the different languages up there so I can speak different people up there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, I wonder what heaven is like. Is it a happy place?
Yeah.
You know? Is it the same as this place, happy and sad? You know? But like, you can imagine how many people have lived, right, in century after century, but now dead.
Yeah.
You know, gone. You know, millions of people really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Billions.
Right.
I mean, I think there's 7 billion people on this planet, isn't there?
Well, almost 8 now, they reckon it, they say. I read something the other day, said almost...
Well, even though we had that virus, I thought that killed 1 billion people.
No, not that many, but they said, yeah, apparently we're close to 8 billion now, apparently.
Oh, right, okay. 8 billion.
But that's still okay, though, for the Earth.
Well, you think, like...
Because there's a lot of the Earth, too, that hasn't been, like, utilised or explored or built on, or, you know, there is still a lot of, you know...
Well, I wonder how many people were about 100 years ago, you know, like, was it like 5 billion?
Well, we lost a lot of people in the wars, of course, you know, in the First World War, Second World War, and obviously...
We lost a few billion then, didn't we?
Think about all the people that lost their lives too, like, since, you know, in the wars in Iraq and all these different places too, that went on for a number of years, you know. Lost a lot of people too, you know, thousands of people, you know. So, yeah, you know. But yeah, there is, you know. Yeah. Lots of things that happen in life, you know.
I mean, children, yeah, they know how to be happy.
Yeah. Ignorance though, mate, like we said again, like I said earlier, ignorance is bliss. When you're a child, mate, and you're none the wiser about the world and what's going on and how like you said, the monster of the world it can be, then, you know, you're just living in that young, innocent phase of life where everything's fun and excitement and, you know, everything's a game and it's all fun and you know, it's, you know, so ignorance is bliss. It's as you get older. It's like with me, like growing up, like I was saying to you earlier, like, because of how I grew up and the environment that I grew up in, by a certain age, I already felt like I was a man by a certain age, you know, by a young age, if you see what I mean, by 15 years old, when I left school, I already felt like I was a man, because I was already working, I was already doing my thing, you know, I was already, you know, kind of living like a man in a sense, you know, even though I was still living at home and paying my way at home, because I was, you know, from the time I started working, I was paying my way. But I was, you know, I was doing my own thing, you know, I was a man, you know, I could come and go as I pleased, and, you know, so yeah, you know, it's some of us mature quicker than others in life, is I guess what I'm trying to say, and, you know, it's, you know, life can be very hard, but it's, well, I guess what I'm trying to say, it's about understanding, you know, it's about understanding that it's not always going to be sunshine and roses and rainbows, you know, it can be, but there is going to be ups and downs, and it's accepting the fact that nothing is perfect, and, you know, everything ebbs and flows sometimes, and you just got to be accepting of that, you know, you've got to take the good with the bad, as they say, you know. Everything comes with pros and cons, you know, every decision we make has an effect on our lives, you know, so, you know.
Now everyone's trying to be perfect, aren't they, yeah?
Yeah.
You know? But nobody is perfect.
No one is perfect, but I think if you're striving to be perfect, though, that's a good thing in a way too, though.
Well, the other thing to think about is this world's not perfect either.
No.
You know, so even if you are perfect, or as perfect as can be,
yeah,
the world you're living is not perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I just, like I said, I found, you know, how can you be happy in the world that we're living in? Because it's very difficult, isn't it? You know, like being permanently happy every day, and, you know, because we're all living in the same world, aren't we? Yeah. And I think, like, it's difficult. It's a very difficult world, you know, where you've got to sort of think about so many different things in one day in a funny way, you know, or can do, depending on who you are, really, depending how big your family is, depending, you know, like some children are born, alright, and their mothers are not very good, and they got to look after their own sisters and things, you know, and
yeah, their
become a mother in a funny way
from a young age.
From a young age.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, but they learn, you know, these kind of children, they learn how to cook early, you know, and they harden up at an early age in a funny way and become wiser.
Yeah.
You know, so having a tough life is not necessarily bad, I don't think. I think it's quite good for you sometimes, you know, like having bad things happening to you in a funny way, you know, like I have, you know, a few times. You know, things that happened to me that I didn't really want to happen, but they did. You know, like me loving my ex-wife and she did not love me.
Yeah.
It's horrible. You know, it's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, and I think many of us go through it.
Many.
You know.
Every day.
You know, it's not just...
Someone came home from work today, well, not someone, multiple people got home from work today and found their wife in bed with someone else or something. You know, think about all this, because all this stuff happens worldwide every day. All sorts of shit happens every day, you know, as we know.
It does, yeah.
Think about all the people that walked in on their partner. They got home from work today and they found their partner in bed with someone else. Heartbroken. You know, might have been married for 10 years, got kids, you know, got home from work early, you know, wasn't expecting it, got home and, you know, so, you know, it's life, you know, life, like you said earlier, life can be cruel, life can be,
Yeah.
but it's about looking at it like a lesson and not allowing it to overcome you, you know, to swallow you up and
That's
destroy you as a person and take away who you are and your happiness and the blessing that you have of life. You know, not just allowing yourself to get into a state of like depression or or whatever the case may be, because it happens to the best of us. It can happen to the best of people. Sometimes it doesn't even take a lot. Something could happen tomorrow that just cause someone to just go into a state of depression, and it just they're in that state of depression for it could be 6 months, could be a year, could be a number of years. So yeah, it's.
Well, again, like we get depressed for a reason.
Mm.
There's good reason behind it.
Definitely, I agree with that.
It's like when I did lose my family home, my wife, and I tried to give her everything I could, for a number of years, but it wasn't enough, and I lost it, everything, and I had to start again.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for me and very hard for me back then, because I didn't just lose my children. I lost my washing machine, I lost this, I lost my garden, I lost my friends
Your
as well.
house, everything.
I lost my neighbours as well, I lost my job because I had to give up my job, so I had to move somewhere else, I lost absolutely everything, and it took me a number of years to get myself back.
Yeah, on your feet.
On my feet again,
Yeah.
And now I sort of like look back 15 years later and I think, great, I'm really pleased that she did what she did, because I'm free of her.
Yeah.
I'm not living with that nasty girl anymore. I'm happier. But she was making me unhappy when I was living with her, do you know what I mean? I could never find happiness when I was living with her. She was too difficult.
Yeah.
And now I've found happiness at long last, after having a number of relationships, because I had a relationship before that as well, and whatever, and it's the first time I've been single again, really, and free. The last time I was really single was when I was 16, and I felt quite happy then, doing what I wanted, music or doing what I want, and now I've got it back again, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's just, I look at it as a huge lesson in life, and like I say, I think I was depressed for about 3 years, severely, deeply, anyone would be. I think any man that loves their wife and lost them for not a good reason, really, I don't think, anyway, I can't think of any reasons, but she just met somebody else on the internet and that was that. And I had to go, oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh well, all that hard work.
Yeah, everything I've invested.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shock to me, but then life goes on.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've lived 2 lives in a funny way because of it, because I felt like that was my one life, getting married.
Yeah.
And this is new life, getting divorced in a funny way, like being born again,
Yeah.
And I've had a fun life actually, since, I was a bit, like I could say when we separated, alright, and I couldn't get anywhere near the house because she could phone the police, whatever, on me, whatever, I was living in Southampton homeless, and I was very lucky because I met this family, and they were a billionaire family, and they gave me their keys to the boat after me telling them the story of me losing my wife. So I was living in Canary Wharf rent free, and I've just had such an amazing life since. But even though I was living in Canary Wharf, alright, I was still depressed. It was, because I couldn't see my children and all this, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But now I've gone through it all, I think the worst thing, because this is what my wife done to me, is stop me seeing my own children, and stop them seeing me. And it's the worst thing you can do.
It can make you very unhappy.
Well, it's the worst thing you can do to anyone, to a man or woman. This is what, has happened to me. Right, and my children adored me, honestly. They couldn't wait to see me, whatever,
Yeah.
But when they were younger, she told them not to see me, whatever.
Yeah.
And that is that, and it's like your heart being pulled away from you, honestly.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't understand it really to this day in a kind of way, but it's made me feel so strong. You know, what don't kill you makes you stronger in a funny way, you know, and you know, I just feel grateful that I've given life to my children.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And you know, it's funny. Like 1 minute you got a family, all right? Because I was, you know, my son was 10, and my daughter was 6, and you know, and we were really sort of enjoying. Me and my children loved going out, and we were really happy, whatever.
Yeah.
And the next minute you're living somewhere else, and you haven't got children jumping on you anymore. You know, you ain't got a family. It's like you're dead all of a sudden, you know. It's quite really shocking really to go through, you know, but I've got used to it.
Yeah.
You know, and if she stopped me seeing my children, that's her. She's got to live with that.
Yeah, of
not
course.
me.
Yeah.
Not I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some people that do that, and you know, some mothers that do that take, you know, I don't know, just crazy world again, you know, we're living in. Crazy, if you ask me.
Definitely.
You know, it shouldn't be allowed to happen even,
Yeah.
but it happens.
It does, yeah.
To the best of people too.
Yeah.
You know, so I found it very difficult to be happy, you know, because I was really close to my children, you know, and we were always happy when we were together, and then that was stopped. The magic, it was gone.
Yeah.
So it's like a, you know, sandstorm coming over your family all of a sudden, you know,
Yeah.
in a funny way. But you know, I'm talking about something pretty sad here, I suppose, you know, but I'm just sort of saying, I think like go through hell, which I have done personally, right? I have, because of it all, what's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
It's made me see the light,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
of happiness, you know.
Yeah. Much happier place today, aren't you? Much happier person. Much happier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
More peace
It takes
of
time.
mind.
It takes time though. A lot of things in life, like they say, time heals. Time heals. You know. Not every single thing, you know, but generally time does help with the healing process, you know. And yeah, sometimes, you know, things hurt for a while, or it takes a while for it, you know, to overcome it and to become like yourself again, and you know, to regain your normal composure and demeanor again. But yeah, it's not, you know, it's possible, you know. It's like you said, staying positive, you know.
Well, that's all I can do, you know.
Trying to stay strong, you know.
That's all I can do in life, you know, through the circumstances that I've gone through, you know,
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like my children are dead, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And like sometimes life can be a lot worse for people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all go through shit, you know. And I think sometimes, like I've said it before, I think sometimes when people are going through shit, they feel like they're alone, you know. And it's understandable to feel that way, but the reality is that there's 8 billion people on the planet, you know, there's almost 8 billion people. Everyone's going through different shit every day, you know. There's 8 billion people going through different shit every day. And a lot of people go through similar shit, relationship type shit, or career type stuff, or education type stuff, or, you know, friendship type stuff, or whatever, like, you know, everyone goes through the same shit in life, you know. Everyone has the same kind of similar experiences, similar, you know, so, yeah.
Not necessarily, you know, some people don't get married.
True.
Or some people don't have a relationship whatsoever in their life, you know. You know, reaching old age.
Yeah.
You know,
But
so
generally speaking, most people have the same kind of experiences, though. Same kind of, you know, we all have to go to school growing up. We all have to, you know.
yeah.
We all have you know, when we go, you know, we have to go out to work. We all got to find a career or something. You know, we all got, you know.
I understand what you mean.
You see what I mean? We all have similar lives. You know.
We all see.
Everyone at some point in life, most people have had a heartbreak.